The year is 1588, a year that will be etched in the annals of history forever. King Philip II of Spain, a staunch Catholic, casts a wary eye towards England. His ambitions are grand, his resolve unyielding. England, a Protestant nation under Queen Elizabeth I, stands as a challenge to his vision of Catholic dominance. The religious divide between the two nations is stark and unbridgeable. Philip dreams of conquering England. He envisions a Europe united under the Catholic faith. With Spain at its helm, he assembles a mighty fleet, the Spanish Armada, to crush the English navy and depose Elizabeth. This fleet is not just a collection of ships, it is a symbol of Spanish power and ambition. The Armada sets sail, a fearsome sight with its towering ships and thousands of soldiers. Each vessel is armed to the teeth, ready for the impending battle. England braces for the inevitable clash, a fight that will determine the fate of a nation and the future of Europe. The tension is palpable as the English prepare their defenses. The stage is set for a clash of titans, a battle that will echo through history. The world watches as these two great powers prepare to collide. The English, though outnumbered, possess a secret weapon, skilled sailors and superior ships. Their naval tactics are innovative, their resolve unbreakable. They are ready to defend their shores against the Spanish threat. Every man is prepared to fight to the last breath to protect their homeland. The fate of England hangs in the balance. The outcome of this monumental battle will shape the course of history for generations to come. The English Channel becomes a cauldron of fire and fury. English ships, smaller but more maneuverable, harass the lumbering Spanish galleons. Cannons roar, sending wooden splinters and iron shot flying through the air. The battle rages for days, a desperate struggle for supremacy. But in this telling of history, fate takes a different turn. A fierce storm, the hand of God, some would say, descends upon the Channel. The wind and waves favor the Spanish. The English fleet, battered and scattered, is overwhelmed. The Spanish Armada, though battered, emerges victorious. England, seemingly invincible, is left vulnerable. The impossible has happened. The Spanish have conquered the English navy. With the English fleet crippled, the path to invasion lies open. Spanish troops land on English soil, planting the Spanish flag on foreign shores. Queen Elizabeth, her reign hanging by a thread, flees London for the north. The heart of England falls under Spanish control. King Philip, triumphant, installs a new government filled with Catholic loyalists. Spanish soldiers patrol the streets of London. English citizens, once proud and defiant, now live under the yoke of their conquerors. The Tower of London, once a symbol of English might, becomes a prison for those who dare defy the new order. The Spanish occupation has begun, but the spirit of England refuses to be extinguished. Though defeated at sea, the spirit of England remains unbroken. In the countryside, whispers of rebellion begin to circulate. From the ashes of defeat, a resistance movement rises. Men and women, fueled by patriotism and their Protestant faith, take up arms against their Spanish oppressors. They find a leader in Sir Francis Drake, the famed explorer now transformed into a guerrilla leader. Drake, a master of cunning and strategy, rallies the English people. He embodies their refusal to bow to foreign rule. From the shadows, Drake and his followers strike at the Spanish, ambushing patrols, disrupting supply lines, and keeping the flame of rebellion burning bright. England's heart beats on, defiant and determined. Section 5, The Dutch Roar, a common enemy unites. Across the North Sea, the Dutch watch the events in England with growing alarm. They know the Spanish all too well, having endured years of brutal occupation themselves. The Dutch, Protestant and fiercely independent, see in England's plight a reflection of their own struggle. Bound by a common enemy and a shared faith, the Dutch decide to act. Their fleet, bolstered by years of fighting the Spanish, sets sail for England. They are determined to break the Spanish grip on the English Channel and liberate their Protestant brethren. The arrival of the Dutch fleet tips the balance of power. The Spanish, already stretched thin by their occupation of England, now face a war on two fronts. The tide, it seems, is beginning to turn. Section 6, Shadows of Resistance, Guerrilla Warfare. The Spanish, used to open battlefields, now find themselves bogged down in a different kind of war. Drake's tactics, honed in the New World, prove devastatingly effective. Hit-and-run raids, sabotage, and the constant threat of ambush wear down the Spanish forces. The English countryside, once peaceful and idyllic, transforms into a battleground. Every forest, every village becomes a potential hiding place for Drake's men. The Spanish, though superior in numbers, are constantly on edge, never knowing when or where the next attack will come. This is not the glorious conquest King Philip envisioned. It is a war of attrition, a slow bleed that saps the strength and morale of the Spanish army. Section 7. Cracks in the empire, revolts across the Spanish Main. The war in England, once a swift conquest, has become a quagmire for the Spanish. What was initially perceived as a straightforward victory has turned into a prolonged and draining conflict. The Spanish forces, once confident and seemingly unstoppable, now find themselves entangled in a war that shows no signs of ending soon. Their resources are stretched thin, their armies bogged down. The soldiers, weary from continuous battles, face harsh conditions and dwindling supplies. The morale among the troops is low, and the once mighty Spanish military machine is showing signs of wear and tear. News of the English resistance and the Dutch intervention filters back to Spain's vast empire. The information travels slowly, but when it arrives, it sends shockwaves through the Spanish territories. The realization that their European campaigns are faltering adds to the growing sense of unease. In the Americas, long-simmering resentment against Spanish rule begins to boil over. The indigenous populations, who have endured years of oppression and exploitation, see an opportunity to challenge their colonial masters. The Spanish colonists, too, are disillusioned and frustrated by the distant rule from Madrid. Inspired by the defiance of the English, indigenous populations and Spanish colonists alike rise up in rebellion. The spirit of resistance spreads like wildfire, igniting uprisings across the continent. The rebels, though diverse in their backgrounds and motivations, share a common goal: to break free from Spanish domination. From Mexico to Peru, the cry of freedom echoes through the jungles and mountains. The landscape itself becomes a battleground, with dense forests and rugged terrain providing cover for the insurgents. The Spanish forces, unfamiliar with the local geography, struggle to maintain control. The Spanish, already weakened by the war in Europe, struggle to contain the spreading flames of revolt. They are forced to fight on multiple fronts, stretching their already thin resources even further. The once formidable empire is now besieged from within and without. The mighty Spanish Empire, once seemingly invincible, is beginning to crack under the strain. The combined pressures of external wars and internal rebellions are taking their toll. The empire's foundations, built on conquest and exploitation, are starting to crumble. The seeds of its eventual decline are sown in the fields of England and watered by the blood of rebels across the ocean. The Spanish Empire, which once spanned continents and oceans, is now facing the beginning of its end. The revolts across the Spanish Main are a testament to the resilience of those who dare to defy an empire. Section 8. A world transformed, the enduring impact. The war drags on for years, a bloody stalemate. The Spanish, unable to crush the English resistance or quell the revolts in their colonies, are eventually forced to negotiate a peace. England, battered but unbroken, emerges from the conflict forever changed. The Spanish Armada's victory, once a certainty in Philip's mind, has proven to be a Pyrrhic victory, a triumph that has come at a terrible cost. The English, tempered by fire, emerge from the conflict stronger and more united than ever before. The balance of power in Europe has shifted. England, no longer under the shadow of Spanish might, is free to chart its own course. The seeds of empire, sown in the ashes of conflict, begin to sprout. Section 9. Reflections on power, lessons from an alternate past. The Spanish Armada's failed invasion of England stands as a pivotal moment in history. This event, marked by the clash of two great naval powers, has been studied and analysed for centuries. It was a moment that could have changed the course of European history forever. But what if the winds of fate had blown differently? Imagine a world where the Spanish Armada had triumphed, altering the balance of power in Europe. The ripple effects of such a victory would have been profound and far-reaching. This alternate history offers a glimpse into a world reshaped by a Spanish victory. Cities and cultures would have evolved under different influences, and the political landscape of Europe would have been dramatically altered. It reveals the enduring power of national identity, the strength of faith, and the complex interplay between religion and politics. The Spanish victory would have reinforced the Catholic Church's influence across Europe and the unwavering spirit of resistance. The English, known for their resilience, would have faced new challenges and found new ways to assert their identity and independence. It underscores the idea that even the mightiest empires are not invincible. The fall of one power and the rise of another is a constant theme in history, reminding us of the transient nature of dominance. They can be brought low by hubris, miscalculation, and the courage of those who dare to oppose them. The story of the Armada is a testament to the unpredictable nature of warfare and the human spirit, and the courage of those who dare to oppose them. Brave individuals and strategic decisions can turn the tide of history, proving that no outcome is ever certain. This is a tale of courage and resilience, of nations and individuals standing firm in the face of overwhelming odds. It is a story that continues to inspire and teach us valuable lessons, a reminder that the course of history is not predetermined. Every decision, every action has the potential to shape the future in ways we cannot foresee. It is shaped by the choices we make and the battles we fight, both large and small. The courage to stand up, the wisdom to plan, and the strength to endure are what define our legacy, both on the open seas and within the depths of our hearts. The lessons from this alternate past remind us that history is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving with each passing moment.